Maiden day number 2 for the Lysander started out just fine. It was kind of windy, but nothing serious. This is the first flight on maiden day number 2, and it only needed a few clicks of trim to get it flying straight and level. Like any plane with a 10-foot wingspan, the Lysander gets bumped around a little bit in the wind. But the more I flew it in the wind, the less I was worried about it because the Lysander handled it well. I was also finding that despite the wind, we were flying around a lot of the time on about half to 3/4 throttle. As I always do in maidens, I made a few passes at the field just to see what it was going to be like on landing. It doesn't take much wind for our field to get kind of bumpy at either end on approach. But with and without the flaps, the Lysander was doing fine down low. On this day we were also using a new video camera, so I decided to land a little early so we can check out the footage. This is with the flap settings they recommend and me getting a little happy on the elevator. But the Lysander handled nicely as it slowed down. This is the start of flight number 2 on maiden day 2, and yes, we're going in the opposite direction because as so happens at our field, the wind changed directions. For this flight there was no further trim changes needed. I spent most of this flight trying my different dual rates and seeing how the Lysander responds to the rudder. And it turns out that the Lysander likes the rudder quite a bit, and I was happy about that. But as you'll see in a little bit, you can go from being really happy with a plane to feeling really bad about it. And there was nothing about the way the Lysander was flying that made me think that there was something about to go wrong. I did kind of a lazy half Cuban 8 just to see how the Lysander handled when I pulled it over the top, and it did that fine. And as I reduced the throttle, this happened. I suspect that this nosing down was when the wings started to fail. It was out of frame for a little over a second. When it comes back in view, the wing's already folded up. Turns out it doesn't fly worth a damn without that wing on it. And this is not how I like to bring planes home. But I promised to show you the good with the bad on my site, and this is the bad. This is the wing that stayed on the plane until it hit the ground. Notice that the wing tube appears to be fine and the structure's all broke away from around it. This is the structure that's in the top of the cabin that holds the wing, and that also appears to have stayed intact until it hit the ground. This is the wing that broke off of the plane, and you can see it failed right at the end of the tube. At first we thought maybe a strut had failed and allowed the wing to kick up like that. But both of those struts are bent the same way, so they were both connected to the wing as it pulled away from the plane. I honestly have no idea why it did this. There was no indication before it made that little nose down dip. The DA60 looks like it's okay, but we're going to send this into the factory and have them look at it. The ignition module took a big hit, but I guess that's to be expected. This also may be some kind of testament to the Bison muffler that took a hit like this and doesn't have a crack in it anywhere. So there you have it. It's been somewhere between 30 and 40 years since I've had a plane blow up in the sky like that, and it still doesn't feel any better. But as soon as I get done with this video, I need to get back in the shop and get another plane ready for flying.